Where's your questions?
I think we're live. Hold on one second. They're right here. All right, here we go. Just give me a few minutes, guys. I'm getting all of the technical stuff ready here. I just want to make sure we're actually going live. I got my interview with Stephen VP going on today. One second here. I'm going to just make sure that we are live. Also, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to come on in. So just stand by. Stand by, guys. Just a few more minutes. Looks like we are live. So just going to double check everything's working good. I want you guys to have the best experience on this interview. Oh, look, we are live here. Okay, guys. Welcome to the Actors Advantage online courses and my interview with Stephen VP. He's here. I am so excited to be doing this interview. I'm just going to give you guys a few minutes to come in so that we can get more of you guys watching who've decided to come on today. But thank you for being here.
Why, thanks for having me.
It's going to be really fun. I can already tell this is going to be a fun interview. I have so many questions to ask him, so it's going to be really good. Also, you guys, I'm probably going to get on here too. If you guys want to like have any questions or you want to like comment below, feel free to do so. I'm going to put a little post in there under there. But if you have any questions for Stephen during this interview, feel free to put it in the comment section below, and then we will try to get to your questions if we have time. So questions. Okay. All right, a few more minutes here. And then we'll get started.
How does my hair look?
It looks good. Mine look okay?
Yeah.
That was delayed. That was like a hesitation. Oh my goodness. So funny. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna get started in just a minute. It's gonna be really fun. Just waiting for a few more people to join. Awkward waiting.
Why do we have to wait? Let's just get into it.
You wanted, all right. Well, usually
it's recorded, isn't it? They can
well,
rewind.
Usually I give a few minutes for people to hop on live. But yeah, I guess we can get into it. So hello, welcome to the Actors Advantage online courses. My interview with Stephen VP. He is a singer, songwriter, IMDB credited composer, and a Christian recording artist. And he is here with us today to answer a bunch of questions. So if you guys are aspiring singer, songwriter, composer, recording artist, or you're an actor that wants to do those things too, you are in the right place. We're going to learn from Stephen VP directly, and we're going to talk a bit about his album, well, his EP. It has already dropped, so you guys can actually already listen to that now, which we'll get into in a minute. But first, welcome. Thank you so much that you could be here and do this interview with me today.
No problem. Glad to be live.
I can already tell this is going to be a fun interview. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Stephen VP, and tell us a little bit about your music.
Well, I am Stephen Vincent Pistilli,
okay.
So I just thought of an easy way to put those together, Stephen VP. That's what that means, by the way. Wow, when you say all these things like, IMDB credited, composer, sounds really good when you speak it out loud. On paper, it just doesn't have the same effect, I guess. But I don't know. I write music on the side. It's nothing super. It's not like it's my career in life, but it's something I just feel passionate to do, and it's a really good hobby of mine. And occasionally, you make some extra funds on the side, and who knows what the future has,
Okay, yeah, you're one humble guy, because he actually has some good stuff to his name and stuff that he has done. He has been on tour in a band. He has also, like, as I said, the IMDb credited music composer. He actually did music and composed music for a television pilot. And then he also has all of his music out, singer, songwriter. He recently did a Christian recording for like a Christian rap artist. So he's been very humble. He has actually done quite a few things, and it's really exciting to have you here. Okay, so we're gonna get right into our questions as well. So thank you for introducing yourself. So tell us a little bit about your music style.
I don't know. I'm always asking people like what the style is. Like my biggest question is like, what do you think this genre of this song is? Because I have a hard time just labeling it as something. I just make music that I would like to hear. I guess that's a benefit to making music. So I like listening to music. So instead of finding something that I like, I'm just making myself. I mean, it's a longer process than just clicking through something and listening to somebody else's music. But most of the music, I guess, would be rooted in the sound of my voice because my voice is more raspy. And so it's got to be more of a rock type of genre or alternative or grunge rock stuff. But I really like the MIDI and the synth stuff on the computer and the piano. So mixed with me being a rhythm guitarist and a singer, mixing that with the stuff you can do on the computer and the synth stuff, I don't know, like electronic alternative grunge rock. I think this is a long way to answer that question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very cool. I actually have been listening to your music, and I would call it that. Like it's like an alternative grunge rock style, but really the gold is in your voice. You've just been like really gifted with such an interesting voice. So really makes it awesome. All right. Tell us about your new EP. Tell us about it and what is it all about and what inspired it?
Oh yes, the extended play. I don't know. I just picked, I have a bunch of songs. If you've ever been to my YouTube channel, I have a bunch of songs that I just recorded with vocals and guitar because I've written them in the past and I just wanted to record them. And I just went through those songs and found the ones that I liked listening to the most. And I just set out to record every track, get a better recording of each individual track, you know, the guitar, the bass, the piano, whatever synth or drums I put in there and my vocals, and you know, kind of experiment with it and add new lead lines and just see where it went. And so I picked 4 songs, actually 3 songs I started with that I wanted to produce. And I just started finishing them. And then my Mac, I had an old Mac that I was using Logic on, and I blew the graphics card out of it. And so I worked with another kid from the church I go to. His name's Jacob, and he helped me produce the rest of the song. So I worked with him, and he's really good with the synth stuff and mastering. So we worked hand in hand together to get that done. It was like a year or 2 long process because I couldn't do it myself on my own computer because I still haven't got a new one. I really need to do that, but it's not really a huge priority since I can just hire somebody else to produce it. And but in the future, I want to get a new one and just do it myself. But I picked those songs because they were my favorite to listen to. I felt like I was saying things that were more authentic to what I was really going through at the time. And if I wanted to put out something that was more professional sounding compared to the stuff that I released before, I picked the songs that I would want to do that with.
Nice.
Easy way to answer that.
Okay. Awesome. So one of the songs that is my favorite on your EP is Tearing Point. And Tearing Point is kind of this like very upbeat, fun, really good bass sounding song. And so what is it, and like what influenced Tearing Point in particular?
Well, the beat.
The beat. So that's where you started.
I once I got a computer maybe 11 years ago, and just how the technology has progressed. I'll move. The technology has progressed into like a synth type of music, and how easy it is to do on the computer. I was just having so much fun playing around with a MIDI controller on like GarageBand, and then eventually got Logic. And some friends came over, and I just made that beat with them, and they were like, "Hey, try this." And one, if you listen to the song, it's the same bass line throughout the whole song, except parts of the song, it's like a legato, like an elongated note where it holds the note through the bass line. And then at certain segments of the song, it's short notes. So dun, 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 instead of holding it out. Like, and so that was really interesting because I usually, before that, I mean, this was years ago that I made this beat. before that, I just do one long bass line. But one of my friends was like, "We'll try it like this," and I really liked how it turned out, and I just kind of formed the whole song around that. Um, Years later, I think in 2019 or 18, I heard that song, the beat, and it was just a loop at this point. So I had like 12 or 13 tracks of like a few measures, and then I would listen to it and start adding in tracks, and it was just a big loop, and it would just replay, and it was just, you know, a few seconds of music. And so I renamed it to Make This One ASAP. And so then I took each section and, you know, sectioned it out and structured it to where certain things, or, you know, it made it into like a 4 or 5 minute beat. And then now I had the structure of the song. Now I need to write some lyrics to it. And most of my stuff has been more of like playing guitar and singing, where this song I wanted to be more of like doing like kind of like lyrical rap bars into like a rock verse. And so I was able to write something like that. It was a little different than what I've done before. I've done songs like this in the past, but this was more of like something more serious, to where I wanted to, I didn't know what to write about, but I just kind of, the way I write songs, which this song included, is I'll just start singing something. I was at a friend's house, like house sitting for them, and I was just playing around with music, and nobody's home, so I can just play around and sing. And so I played the beat, and I came up with the chorus, which is "I can see," and I was like, "Dang, that sounds cool." And I just started saying something, and I don't even remember what I was saying, but I remember the "I can see." I was like, "That sounds good. I'll keep that." And I wrote a whole song around that, and then I wrote the hook, and then I wrote each verse to be like something. Okay, what do I want to say? So once I go back, then I can think about, like, once I have the phrasing and the notes and the harmony and the melodies and all that, I can go back and make a meaning, and I can write to those syllables and those phrasings. And it's kind of the long way to explain how I made that song. But what it means to me is just something, you know, I'm just going to talk about, you know, what if someone told me, it's like, if you're going to make a song and you're going to put out there, like, what do you want to say? Because people might hear it, and what do you want to tell them about yourself? And I really think that I put that out there in that song. I answered that question.
Which is?
Well, you have to listen to the song.
Okay, so go listen to the song to find out. Okay, so let's go into the next song. So when did you know that you wanted to be a singer songwriter?
I don't know. I mean, I remember getting a guitar when I was a little kid, and I'd be so nervous and singing. I was really bad at singing. And I'd just go hide away in like a car or somewhere where I could just belt things out and play guitar, a few notes that I knew, or chords or power chords, and just make stuff up. And it felt so good. It felt so freeing to do that. I started recording myself in high school, but man, I was bad. I was singing stuff out of my range, way out of my range. And just listening to it now, I was like, dang, I'm messing up my voice. But I don't know. I mean, it'd be great to take it more serious and make it more of a, you know, a thing, a consistent thing in my life. Because right now it's just a side job. It's a hobby. I mean, it's not like, you know, my main income, which is fine, because the more it becomes a main income, the less I might enjoy doing it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Go deeper into that, because I've actually said that to my acting students, because I've said, like, don't make acting your career, make it your hobby.
Sure.
And so you're kind of saying the same thing, like for you, music is a hobby, and you've had success, but you still view it as like your side job, as your hobby. So like, why is that? Why do that?
Well, okay. So there's these things called extrinsic rewards and intrinsic rewards. Anybody that's taken business classes or HR classes have probably heard this, because people get intrinsic rewards from doing something they enjoy doing. An intrinsic reward is, it makes me feel good, or I like sitting outside because it's peaceful, or I like drawing or painting or walking, or the list goes on. It doesn't pay you anything. It doesn't give you a monetary value. It doesn't give you an exchange of something you need, like food or shelter or clothing or money or whatever, to do those things. You get rewards from it just by doing it. it has intrinsic value. Extrinsic rewards come from, I work because it pays me. I get an intrinsic reward every time I make a sale for the job that I do. And it pays my bills. It lets me drive around. It lets me do whatever I want. It lets me buy music equipment. Where's that water?
Good idea.
I found it really interesting to learn that the more you do something for extrinsic value, the less intrinsic reward you get from it. And if that makes sense, the more you do something for pay, the less internal reward you get for just doing it. And this was true when I was frontmanning a cover band all over Southern California. I got to learn that firsthand. Although it was really fun, and I work full time. I'd be going to casinos, wineries, opening up for, I think the biggest one I did was opening up for Chris Young at Fantasy Springs in Indio, I think the city is.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even know who he was. I was some country singer, I guess. Some people know who he is.
That's
but
funny.
we're a totally different genre. And so that was
Sure.
cool. I mean, it was cool to meet people. And that was a fun gig. But it was fun. But once it became something that I had to do, even though I was like blowing out my voice singing for 5-6 hours, it became like I couldn't say no, because it was almost like I had an obligation, I made a commitment to do that for the other people involved who were getting paid. Some of the other people we'd bring in, this is their job full time, is just to play music. And so I couldn't just cut out because I didn't feel like it that day. It was fun. However, it was good. It was nice to have a lot of extra money from just doing what I like. It was a lot of fun, but I found myself doing less and less music by myself. I was writing less. I wasn't doing any songwriting. I wasn't doing any recording. Occasionally I'd feel like it, but it would take away from me performing. So I didn't want to ruin my voice.
Sure.
So I'd have to wait if we had like an off weekend, because we would play Friday, Saturday, Sunday nearly every week.
Right.
And it was rare that we had an off weekend. So,
That's a lot.
I kind of got to see that, but I really didn't, because it wasn't my main job. But I did see how I got less internal value from doing it, simply because it was at some point it was paying off the car that I bought. And it was like, wow, this music pays off this car. And so, okay.
Yeah.
It was fun doing that. But at the same time, I didn't need to stick around with the band. So that's what eventually was a factor to making me leave. And I was like, I'm just going to continue doing my own thing.
You went solo.
I didn't go solo. There was no solo. With cover bands, you have to have a band. You can't really go solo. I just started going back to writing and recording.
Your roots. Okay. Yeah, scooch in here a little more. I'm trying to get you in. There we go. We have a tight space, guys, to do this. So just trying to squeeze in. Okay. So, all right. So you are a Christian artist.
Sure.
And so tell me about that. How does that affect your writing style and your music? How does that affect how what jobs you take and where you put out your music? How does that affect
I still put out my music everywhere. I mean, I guess if you really listen to the words, you'd probably figure out oh, this guy might be a Christian or something. That's why I include my lyrics in all the stuff I release, so people can read it and decide what they think it means. Some songs are more straightforward than the others, but some are more poetic, I guess. I'm certainly not talking about doctrine a lot in my songs. I'm moreover talking about my own struggle with spirituality and sanctification and just being human and fallen, and trying to not rely on my own strength, but the strength of the Lord, and the things that kind of get in the way of that, especially myself. But I still release it in the same spots. It doesn't really change much of what I write. I'm sorry, the type of music I put out there. It's more over just the lyrics, and the lyrics are very important to me, and they always have been. But everything else is like any other recording artist, except what I write about, I guess.
Okay.
But I mean, that's the reason I left the cover band, is because we were singing songs that were always kind of like an innuendo. And some songs are more blatantly like sexual. And you know, here I am going to church and leading worship and playing in the worship band, and it's like, oh, I'm going out and singing this stuff for other people. So it didn't really make sense, and I felt like I was just two people. So I made a decision to stop doing that, because I felt like I was just tickling my own pride, just being a lead singer and at major venues. And sure, that was fun, all attention on you, but it wasn't about God, it was about me. And so that's what led me to be like, okay, I don't need to be using my gifts to just serve myself. I want to use my gifts to, you know, tell my testimony. And so that's what I write about. Some songs, you know, are not exactly Christian, but they're still talking about what I went through, and they're not like worldly or anything, but they're just more authentic to like, here it is, I'm alive, relationships are hard, let's celebrate the victories, and there's something bigger than us in the world.
That's like super, super relatable. And I know like with my journey and what I'm doing, it's kind of the same thing. There's been many times where I've been in situations where it was like, oh, am I really doing the right thing? Like, is this giving God glory? Like, is this something that I feel like I'm using my gifts for in like the right way? So I can definitely relate to that. And that's really cool that you've kind of gone through that journey. So you're saying basically that like, if, you know, if you're a Christian artist, like, and maybe you're not doing like worship, like, so maybe you're like a Christian artist and you're not doing like flat out worship music like many bands do, but maybe you're more of like an indie artist, maybe you just have Christian influences in it. So are you saying that like you can do that? You can like stay true to yourself and your beliefs and your morals?
Some people would disagree. I mean, Christians are very the Christian market are very there's a lot of people who are very legalistic and very like, if you're a Christian artist, you could only do worship songs. You can never sing cover songs from secular bands. It's very strict, the stigma around it. And I've heard of bands that people, you just go on the forums or where people type anything and it's like, how could this band sing this song? Or it's just like, well, that it's a song, you know, or how could they say this song? And people start picking apart Christians. They don't do that with, I guess they do that with other genres, but I'm not the one to say, yes, you can do that. You can write whatever, like, I really don't know. I know that in the Bible, it says there's songs about many different things. The Psalms, there's songs about lamenting. There's songs about sadness and sorrow. There's songs about praise. There's songs about doctrine and doxology, I think is the word. I can't remember. There's songs about a lot of different things. Songs about joy, you know, songs about relationship. I think I said that. Songs about the Lord and how good he is, and songs about your struggles, songs about where the Lord showed up in your life. There's great realization, songs about sin and the transgression you went through, especially from David, who wrote most of the Psalms. So from that perspective, I think I am writing songs that are similar, you know.
So not just the like cookie cutter, like, oh, praise and worship, right? Which is wonderful. And there is a place for that. But you're also writing real, raw things that you actually have personally gone through, are going through, and you're just being completely honest. There's no like, I got to put on my Christian mask, right? No. It's more like, look, I'm a sinner, that I struggle too. We all do. Yeah. And so you use your music in a sense to put that out there.
Right. I mean, some of my songs are more straightforward than others. Some of them are not, like, but the song How Can I Sing is pretty literal. You know, I felt like when I was leading at like 2 different churches, Saturday and Sunday, and then 2 other days of the week, this was not doing the band thing. Now I'm just leading and just serving in this way. And I felt like, because I'm a fallen human, I'm a guy, I struggle like most guys do in the world, especially with the physical stuff. And I felt like, since I'm leading worship, why am I allowed to lead worship? So that song's called How Can I Sing? When I'm living in a way that's not of you, Lord. And so, I mean, it's implied who I'm talking to.
Sure.
And so, you know, so that's a song that's not really praising how good I am, or but it's just praising how it's like a reminder to myself that, oh yeah, all that I've been through, God was there for me, carrying me through what I can't yet see, because like there's been times in my life where God has already shown up before I even know I needed him. I'm broken, I'm blue, he's made me free. So, and then the conclusion is like, I need more of you, take in all of me. And so that song's a lot more transparent.
True.
And
it's a good song.
So that's moreover what I'm getting at when I'm writing, is more of my testimony. But on the other hand, like I said in the beginning of this interview, it's like I write music for myself, and I'm my biggest fan. I think I have most of my own views and listens. It's probably just for me.
That's so funny.
But you know, because I mean, like I said, it is a message to myself, and it is a reminder. And you know, if anybody else can glean from that, and great. I've had people, especially with my last release from Infinitely Closer, people just message me saying this song really speaks to me. It's like I'm going through the same thing, and that's makes it all worth it to me. I mean, it's like, wow, someone can be closer to God, or just have a moment of like relation that it, you know, it's like, oh wow, God is real. Other people are going through what I'm going through. I'm not alone. If that makes it all worth it. And it's like, wow, I still want to keep doing this.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome.
So I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know how, I mean, what does it mean to be a Christian artist? Some people would say you can only do worship music, but then the extreme of that is like some churches, we can't do music. We can only do hymns. We can't play instruments. We can't dance, can't put our hands up. We can't do this. We can't. And it's like, it just becomes like, whoa, with all these rules, what can we do? And so I try to just not be on that extreme, not be on the other extreme of the world, and, you know, find myself in the middle somewhere, which, I mean, maybe is bad to some people, but I mean, I feel like I'm just being authentic to who I am. And I think that's the most important thing. I don't think you should sugarcoat, you know, how holy you are or perceived to be. I think you should just be honest what you're going through, as sinful as you are or you aren't, and just put it out there.
That's so important.
For sure. And I mean, it's music. I mean, people are gonna not vibe with it if it's not real. For the same reason with mainstream, people get upset. It's like, dang, this guy wasn't a gangbanger, like he says in all of his songs. And so, but it's like, reality is like most people aren't. You know, and so
that's cool. I'm like, that's really cool that you're doing that. So that's awesome. All right, let's keep going on our questions here. So what inspires you as an artist? Is it kind of along the lines of what we've been talking about, or like, what is there anything in particular that inspires you? Like when you're sitting down and you're songwriting, what inspires you?
I don't know, feelings, emotions, situations.
Okay.
That's about it. I mean, music is a vent for me. It's not. It's a way to express myself, so it just depends on what I'm going through. So it's like a bunch of things inspire you. Inspire me.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, if you don't know, like, if you think that's weird, he's my husband. So if you couldn't tell by the Michaela Pistilli and him saying he's Stephen Pistilli, yes, he is my husband. So I thought it would be a good idea to have him come on, and as one of the interviews. I do plan to do more interviews, hopefully coming up soon, but I thought it would be really cool to have my husband do the first one. So that's great.
I'm just a guinea pig. She makes me like, you're so good at writing music. It's like, I'm far from famous.
But you actually have great credits to your name. You have had success, and it's like, and you are so talented. So it's like, why not? You're like the perfect person for a first interview.
I mean, I guess God has gifted me. I mean, I played every instrument in all my releases. And so that is unique.
You produced some of your stuff, and like
discount, you know, the way God made me, and just, you know, because humility, someone told me humility isn't like putting yourself down. It's just giving glory to the one who gave you the gift. I mean, so God's gifted me. He's given me all this talent. I've never taken lessons or anything. It's just, he just kind of said, here, you're going to be able to do this.
That's cool.
And it's like,
I wish.
Wow.
Wish I could do that.
So it's really fun. It's just a natural ability I've always had. So
awesome.
I'll take it.
So we're, as we continue on through these questions, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you guys are just coming in, this is Stephen VP. We're doing an interview with him right now. He just released his new EP. He's a singer-songwriter. He is a IMDB credited composer, and he is a Christian recording artist. And I am going to be getting towards the end of these questions, like some like practical tips from him. So if you're kind of looking for that in this live, just stay tuned. They will be coming. But for right now, I want to ask you, Liz. Okay, let's get into something fun. So you went on tour, and you were kind of doing all these wineries and doing all this great stuff and having a great time. And who did you open for again? It was
so that was at the casino. That was Fantasy Springs.
Fantasy Springs.
Like for Chris Young.
Chris Young, that's
I
right.
think he's like an American Idol country singer.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Cool.
I mean, we met him. I mean, he's cool. He's a nice guy, but we don't do country.
That's interesting. Well, this brings me to my question. So did anything like, do you remember just a time that was like a bad experience or just a crazy experience?
What do you mean bad? Like,
I don't know. Just
like, yeah, I got into trouble doing that a lot. It was very secular. I mean,
Okay.
it had nothing. It was not church related at all. So I mean, it wasn't like a party scene because the people who ran the band, the guy who like managed it and like played the guitar, he's very much so like, well, I don't drink, we don't do drugs, and you can't do that. When we go to venues, you don't do that. And so I was like, okay, no problem. So, but you know, like if we're staying at a place, like, yeah, it's easy to get in trouble because
but like
you're
any
off the
crazy
clock.
experiences too, like something that like stood out to you.
Well,
So-
I went to we did a thing for Coachella, but it was the old Cella is what they call it. Sorry for all you senior citizens, seasoned citizens. What is it called? Desert Trip. So it had like the Paul McCartney and the Who, Pink Floyd, or Roger Waters or something. So we played at a resort that was housing people next to this event, and so they wanted to have bands. So we're just like, oh, we'll do that. And so I met some people there, and they gave me tickets for the whole thing. They're like, oh, you're cool. Here's some tickets. And so I got to go to that event for free.
That's
for like
so
3 days. So that
cool.
was it was definitely a desert trip. I mean, it was weird to be in music mode for 3 or 4 days.
That's so cool.
It was an experience, but it was very much so, you know, worldly and secular, and you know, that's a big factor on why I stopped doing that. And that was in 2017 or something. And then I started going in a different direction with my music and being more authentic, and instead of trying to live 2 lives, you know, and be 2 different people.
Yeah.
And so
That's good. I'm sorry. I was looking, we already have some like comments and a question on here, but we're going to get to those questions in just a minute. Okay. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer, because you've done studio recording as well.
yeah.
You've done your own projects. You've done live performances. You didn't put your phone on silent, did you? Okay.
No, that's an alarm.
Hold on. We had like some blur going on here. Sorry, guys. You know, I told him to put his phone on silent before we started this. Well, oh, it's an alarm. Yeah. Okay.
4:30.
Oh. Okay, we're coming back. Okay, so we were talking about, are we good on lighting? Okay, so we're talking about how like you've done studio recording, you've done your own releases, you've done live performances. What's your favorite? What do you prefer? Do you prefer like the atmosphere of live?
Going into a studio is really fun.
I think we're in some like lighting issues here.
Going in the studio is super fun. Most of the stuff I do, I mean, studio work's fun and all, but like it's just you're playing for like the engineer and some other guy, whoever's there. But it is cool nonetheless, because all the recording I've done is mostly out of my house. So going into the studio and like an actual vocal booth was super cool. It's like, wow, I just busted out in a couple takes, and they're like, you know, wow, you did it in like 1 or 2 takes. And I was like, I know what I'm doing. And the atmosphere is really great. They just give you everything you need. And you have really good monitoring. It's all soundproof, and you could just belt it out as loud as you want, and you can hear yourself great. And usually their equipment's really, really well set up. And so that experience was fun. Like you said, I mean, I got commissioned by somebody I know who's putting out like a rap album. And he's like, hey, he didn't even know if I could sing, I guess, but I guess I just told him like, hey, here's what I do. And he's like, hey, like, can you want to sing the hook on this? And I was like, you're just going to hire me without even listening to my music? So I could be bad.
Cool.
But he was really stoked on how it came out, and it's on the YouTube channel, but it's not on my channel, but it's linked to it. I mean, if you guys want to check it out, but that was really fun. That was super fun. But I'd say that's top 2, you know, second place. But there's nothing like performing live and front manning. Like I have a high energy level and just jumping around on stage and singing, pointing at people, just being me, it's really fun. I don't know how to explain it, except that's kind of what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be just letting loose, being a front man, you know, not even playing guitar or anything, not playing anything, just
singing.
Yeah, just singing in front of a band. And so that's definitely my favorite thing, is a live performance for big crowds. But I mean, small crowds are cool too. And as long as someone's paying attention and vibing with you, I put on a really high energy show for, I think, like 12 people at some, like, Paula Casino has one of their venues in the back, and it's like a live band venue, and it's really loud, and there wasn't too many people there that night, but it was all the people who were playing a different concert there. They all came to check us out, and it was just like we were playing for other bands, and it was just super fun to just let out all my energy. So I don't know. I guess the performance thing is different. There's nothing like performing live.
Yeah,
for sure.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I'm going to take a question here. So let's see. Let me get all the comments here. There's a comment. All right. So Nikkea has a question here. How do you two deal with being judged differently from being vocal about believing in God and the Bible? Specifically, when we tell people Jesus is my savior, it seems like people like to nitpick at any and everything you do that they feel doesn't line up to what a Christian should be. So the question essentially is like, how do we deal with being judged differently for being vocal about believing in God?
Well, I mean, I would say the best thing that we can do is just be honest, because we can, Christians especially, can definitely be super judgmental. I mean, we all can. People
all of us can be
judgmental, but being Christian, it's just, we have another label, or we're representing something else. And so people will look for any reason not to be Christian and be like, those evil Christians. But I think we can do a service to just being a Christian, if you will, by just being honest and authentic, and be like, look, I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. And so, I mean, here's why. Because God says that, you know, it's in your weakness I am strong. And so the more that we can show our weakness, the more that he can be strong, I guess. But when people judge you, count it joy. You know, that's a good thing. If you're suffering for doing the right thing, you should count it joy, because it's easy to suffer for things when you're in the wrong. So, I mean, from being in a secular world, not Christian seriously my whole life, you know, you lose a lot of friends. You lose a lot of friends who don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't want to hear that you're waiting till you get married to be intimate with a girl. Especially your guy friends don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that when you're out. They don't want to hear that they're defiling, or, you know, they don't want to hear your perspective. Because I haven't told anybody you're doing this, you're doing that. But when people hear why I wanted to do what I'm doing, they get offended. And so those people just stop calling you. They stop asking you to hang out. And that's okay. Because, I mean, you should always be speaking the truth. And not everybody's going to want to hear the truth, because the gospel is foolishness to those who are perishing. And so, like I said, if you can just be super honest and transparent, like, hey, I'm struggling, I'm just like you. We're not so different, Mr. Non-Christian or fellow Christian. Being authentic and transparent to what you're going through. But then, you know, giving people a reason when they ask, like, why are you different? You know, be prepared to give your testimony. What makes you different? How did you go through this? Well, the Lord, you know, and like, that's why I write my songs, because it's so important to my life on why I'm able to live the way I am, or take care of myself, or have food, or shelter, or just, you know, handle life, the hard things in life that come at you that most people would be destroyed by. But like, people like, well, what makes you different? Why are you able to go through this with such confidence and joy? Well, it's because of the Lord, and you know, what he's doing in me. And it's not me, it's just God who lives in me. And so I guess to summarize, count it joy when people judge you for, being authentic and doing the right thing. And not everybody's going to want to hear what you have to say, but it needs to be said. I mean, Jesus said a lot of hard things, and a lot of people left. Good people, apparently, like good by the world standards, left. And then the religious people, hated him for that. So, I mean, and he just know that what the truth is. Step one, read the Bible and know what it says and know what it means. And then be able to testify what that means to you when someone asks. I guess that's a long way to answer that, but I think I answered your question. I don't know. Let me know if I did.
Yeah, no, I think that answered it pretty good. It's kind of the same way for me. I'm working on, I guess, having that boldness, but then also like finding joy in my trials. And I struggle with that. I do. And so I don't think it's always easy for us to just be like, oh, we're getting judged, like, and yay, right? It's not like your initial thought, but it's really something that we're supposed to do. So I think it's just something we continually work on. Okay, so
Is there more questions?
Yes, I have more questions.
Oh, not from chat?
No, we're not gonna do any more from chat right now.
Right.
Okay, so what is your most favorite song that you've ever written?
That I wrote?
Yeah, out of your songs, right? You're like, you said, like, I'm my biggest fan. So right? So you gotta have one.
I really like Life's Blood.
Okay.
I mean, even when I was recording it for acoustic and vocals, just like a raw version of it years and years ago, I really liked listening to it. It just sounds so cool. That song came to me in a dream. It was actually a trip because
that's interesting.
I was engaged before Michaela, and it didn't work out, obviously. We didn't get married, never been married until now. But this relationship had ended, and I, was going through a transition in my life from coming out of the world and going back into church and just finding my roots in the Lord. And I had a dream, like the relationship was ending. The dream was like about that, and it was about transition. And this song was playing in the background, like the intro to the song. And I remember I woke up and just grabbed my guitar. I had I still have the black guitar, like I forgot, whatever. I have the guitar still, but I grabbed it. It was next to my bed, and I just started playing it. I was trying to find what I was hearing in my head. I was trying to find it on the guitar, and I found the chords. It's like an A to a G to an E, but it's like kind of strumming it or plucking the strings. And I was like, oh, this sounds so cool. And I just wrote it. I sat down, wrote the whole song as if the song was being written through me. And so that was probably the coolest experience I've had with writing a song. And it sounds so cool. And it's so fun to sing because it's a type of sounding song that I would like to listen to. And it's a type of sounding song that I like to sing because it goes to my low range, my medium range, and in the middle of the song, I pretty much hitting the top of my range when I double the octave or jump the octave on the verse in the middle of the song. And so just singing it is a good vocal example of my range, pretty much all around. And it's just such a cool sounding song. It's like a song that I would listen to, so that's kind of why I like it. But the verses are so cool, there's so much content and so much meaning in the verses. It's hard to unpack that. Even just like, wow, I wrote that. And it just makes more sense that it came to me in a dream. And it was so easy to be like, it's like, I'm a vessel for the Lord. And like the Spirit came in and just wrote a song through me. And it's just such an interesting experience. And it's just, there's so many meanings in the song that it's like, wow, I can't believe I came up with that. And it's like, oh, well, God came up to that with that through me. And so that's so cool to be used in that way. Yeah. Where it's like, dang, I'm not that smart.
We can all be vessels for God.
Yeah.
In that way. That's amazing.
Sure. And someone told me, they're like, wow, that's interesting what you meant by that part of the verse. I was like, I didn't mean that. But I was like, dang, it does make sense. I was like, I didn't even see the full meaning of the song until other people started hearing it. I was like, dang, I didn't even realize all the complexities. For example, the chorus, it says, a lifeless tear, only you, as in, God, you, because most of my songs I'm singing to God, only you can sew.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking a lifeless tear, like in my heart, like I got a tear, I got a hole, and only he could stitch it together. And then I learned about the wheat and the tares, and I'm struggling with being a lifeless tear, not a wheat, and only he can sew. If I am a tear, and so it's like, wow, there's kind of like a double meaning there.
Sure.
And so stuff like that, it's like I wasn't smart enough to come up with that. I mean, maybe, but I didn't intend on it. But it's just like it kind of happened that way.
That's cool. That's cool. Sorry, guys, if you hear our dog. Sometimes he can be a little loud.
It's not our dog.
Okay, well, that's true.
I don't like it.
That's going to sound like we stole the dog.
We stole the dog.
We did not steal
We
the
stole
dog.
it. We're just stealing him.
So
like Cruella DeVille.
No.
Make a jacket.
No.
I'm just kidding. It's just one
Toby
dog.
is here,
It'd be like
so-
more of a glove.
Okay.
I'm just playing. It's not our dog.
All right, so let's get into we're gonna get into some more like advice questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up here. But if you could change anything about like the industry itself, what would it be?
Well, the industry's a popularity contest. I mean,
Social media, right?
Music,
Followers.
Yeah, I mean, music, it doesn't matter if you're good. It just matters if people like your brand. It's the same with any other brand. It doesn't matter if it's quality. If people like it and they know about it and they'll buy it, then it's popular.
Yeah.
And music's the same thing. I mean, music, you got 4 chords, or like you can put a lot of major songs in the same 4 chords. They might be in different keys, but it's the same progression. And so would I change? I don't know. It's hard to say. There's so many people doing the same thing. It's hard to make it so you can get your message out there. But I don't know. I don't really think like that. I don't really think like, what would I change? I try not to go into the world or into life wishing things were not the way they were. I try to just accept it how it is and understand like, okay, there's a hurdle in front of me. I could either stop because of that hurdle, or I can find a way to jump over it. And so I what would I change? Nothing. I mean, I would change myself, and I would change how I looked at things.
All about your perspective.
I wouldn't want to change anything. I would just change. I would ask to be better. If I couldn't figure something out, I would ask to be smarter. I would change me. If I couldn't sing something right way, I would want to change how I sang, and so that's moreover what I would change. I would just change what I have control over, which is me, not something external. I think that is a fallacy for us to be like, what would I change? Well, me. I change what I have control over, which is me. So whatever that entails, or whatever situation that may be, I'm going to look at what I can do to improve myself or this situation through myself. And I think we all should do that.
That's really good advice.
Everyone hears that. You should be the change you want to see in the world. But it's true. And we're in this culture of like, well, you change, And so, well, no, it really has to go with our character and what we do when no one's around.
Yeah.
And who we really are. And so if there's anything I would change, it would be me. For sure. And how I did things. If there's a better way to do it, I'm certainly open to hearing how to do that.
Nice.
For sure.
Okay, awesome. So we just have a few more questions here. So you composed music for the television pilot. And
that you were the director.
Yes. So funny story, little backstory for us, how we started to really get to talking and get to know each other before we got married was actually working on this project. And we are still kind of newlyweds, but we were working on this project, and he got picked to be the composer, and he wrote
the poser.
He wrote a really, really great song for the show. And tell us a little bit about like your process of that, like how, like if you're going to be like, so for people out there that want to be like working on television shows and being a composer, so like what is your process like how, number one, what's your process like, and number two, like how does that happen? Like, how do you,
Well,
how can
I
you
got
do that?
lucky. So I was talking to you, and you want to get whoever's the decision maker, you want to be talking to them because they're going to have a vision of what they want. And they may not be musical, but
Me,
if
not
they're
musical.
explaining to you, like, I want it to sound like this, or here's some examples, just try to emulate what they're looking for without copying it, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And we see this a lot in the industry where you have a popular song, and you know, for copyright reasons, many TV shows or cartoons or any movies, they'll change the song a little bit so you get the idea that it's playing that type of song. But when you're doing something that's more of a original project, like a, you know, a jingle or a TV show or an intro, whatever it may be, just understanding their vision. And it's best if they're not musical to get some kind of examples, and then you can make something that sounds like but doesn't exactly, people are not going to be like, oh, that's the same song, but they're like, oh, it sounds like this genre. So for example, you sent me like some intro songs to
YouTube
different
videos, yeah.
to old TV shows, and so I just kind of made something that was similar, but it wasn't the same, that it took influence from, but it, you know, you wouldn't hear it and be like, oh, that's the intro to this TV show. So I did that, although, you know, you weren't the decision maker. And so,
No.
so I sent that. I think it was a great song. Actually, that was my alarm because I had no other use for the song. So I put it as my alarm.
He actually sent 3 songs to our producer. So,
but on the other hand, you know, once again, I'm the guy who had a dream of a song and wrote it. And so I just kind of felt led. Like, I had a song on the ukulele I was playing, and I was like, that could be cool. But it was more of a different sounding song. It was more melodramatic and melancholy, which she wanted a happy song. It was an intro, like down, 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 and it was like country.
yeah, it was like,
And
yeah.
the producer wasn't looking for that.
No.
The producer was looking for melancholy, and I just felt led to just, well, let me record this one. And they ended up picking the one that I wasn't coached on, or wasn't like having any examples. And I just kind of felt on a whim, like, I'm going to submit 3 different sounding songs. So it gives me a range of, like, here's what I can do. I'll take feedback. And they had a little bit of feedback, but
you'd suggest doing that, like submitting like multiple songs.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'd be a fool's errand to just submit 5 songs of the same thing. 5 electronic dance songs. Like, that's cool. You really only need just one. Just pick the best one.
Show your range.
Yeah. And then if you got like a rock song or an indie song or a rap song, or just like you know, if you have different styles, you want to highlight those styles in your submissions. And that's why when I released the EP, I tried to release 4 different sounding songs. And so they all kind of hold in their own. So people get an idea of like, okay, this is kind of my well-rounded or whole, spectrum of styles. I don't know. But yeah, so I wouldn't have much experience with work like that, because project work that you're commissioned on, you basically just have to do what the buyer wants. And so it's all about making the buyer happy. And so if you can listen to the buyer, be it if you're doing vocals on their track, you kind of have to do what they want. And so you have to put your creative suggestions in the back seat. But
is it hard to do that?
No, because
okay.
I mean, it's easy because you just do what they want, whether or not it sounds good or you like it. Just do it, perfect it, do it the best that you can, and then you can make suggestions to be like, hey, what do you think if we try this? And that's allowed me to change certain parts of certain songs that people have hired me to do by doing what they wanted perfectly, and then, or as perfect as they wanted. And then saying, hey, well, let's try this. What do you think if I change a note here and go higher? What do you think about that? And then record it. And they're like, oh, usually they'll be okay with it or not,
Yeah.
And when I've been on the opposite end of that, so I'm working with the producer Jacob Justice, the younger guy I hired to produce these last songs. He did the same thing. So he's like, well, let's try this. And there's some things I was like, nah, let's not. It doesn't fit the vision of my song. But then there was things that he did, and I was like, dude, that was a great idea. Let's keep that. And so it's just the power of suggestion. So you do have to keep it's not your project. You have to do your work for someone else. So if you're getting paid like that, just make sure that you're following the vision and understanding what the buyer wants.
Okay. That's really good advice. Awesome. Okay. So let's keep going here. Just a few more here. Do you have any tips for those who want to be like singer-songwriters? Like how do people get started in doing that? Because like we were talking about, it's a lot about who you know, right? And I mean, it's the same for acting. It's a lot about who you know. And a lot of times nowadays, it's not even fully about your talent. It's about your look and who you know. And unfortunately, it's kind of come to that in some ways. But like, how would you suggest, like there's aspiring singer-songwriters out there. What advice would you give to them to get started?
Well, I'm the one that needs advice. I mean, I know what you have to do. It's just a matter of doing it. So the first thing is be honest. Are you even good? If you're not good, like people will tell you. If you're good, people will tell you. Yes, they'll tell you if you're good or if you're bad. You just take criticism. Don't be afraid to take criticism. If you're like just starting out, you need to record yourself and listen to yourself. Like, can you sing? A lot of people think they can sing. I was one of them. I thought I could sing and I recorded all this stuff and it did not sound good. And I remember I shared it more than I've ever shared anything. And I look back at those recordings. I still have them.
Yeah.
Like, dang, I was bad. Like, it's embarrassing.
So you improved like over the
years. But you need to record yourself and you need to hear yourself and hear okay, I could have done that better, and practice. Practice. Take vocal lessons if you can. You can easily ruin your voice. Practice going out of your comfort zone with music. Do other genres you don't like. Do other things that are harder. Sing a different way. Just expand your horizons. Is the first thing you should do is just work on your skills. Be the best you can be at your craft. Obviously. And then once you're confident and you feel like, okay, people like hearing what I'm doing, then go out and share it. Do open mics, join a band, make a band, join an established band, go out to popular places that will allow you to do open mic night until you get a following. If you have a big social media following from some other aspect of your life, share your stuff there. Put it on SoundCloud, put it on YouTube, put it on free upload sites where you can just upload just by being a simple, regular user. Once you get into fully producing your stuff and it's good, you need to copyright it and then go through independent distributors like DistroKid. And you could put it on Amazon or Apple or Spotify and stuff like that. Pandora is good. And so I guess just to summarize that is just be honest to yourself, record yourself, make sure you sound good, share it with people who are going to give you honest feedback and ask for it. Make the environment okay to give you honest feedback. Share it with people that you trust that will tell you if you're bad. and you should be honest to yourself and then work on that until people are like, dang, this is good. Like you have something here. And then go out and share it live, make relationships, build that following, because music is a brand. And if you start branding yourself as one way or another, just stick with it and try to increase those numbers.
So how do you do that? Like, how do you discover your brand? Like, how do you know your brand and stay true to your brand?
That's a great question. I think you can just do whatever you want. You can brand yourself however you want to be. If you want to make yourself some quirky, this or that type of artist or a serious artist, it's just make it. You can discover. I would just recommend doing what feels natural and just being yourself and doing that. And it's the most easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes your brand isn't you. You just hide behind a cartoon or an image, or you don't ever show your face. Like Daft Punk's like that. You don't really know what they really look like. I don't. There's many bands that are like that. So you can make up a gimmick like that and wear a mask, or a light up mask like some of the EDM guys do.
Yeah.
It really just be creative and do whatever you want. And people either buy into it or not. But if you try to do something that's not you, doesn't feel comfortable just to make sales or make yourself popular, you're not going to like doing music.
Yeah.
It's going to be a task for you, and it's going to take away from who you really are.
Yeah.
But I'm coming from a perspective where I do this on the side, and I'm not really seeking after fame and fortune. You know, if people like my music, great. If people want to listen to it and it speaks to them, even better. If people want to buy it, great. You know, so my goal isn't to be like, I'm going to put all my time and effort in being famous, because
that's the wrong reasons.
Because yeah, it's not going to be fruitful for me in the long run. And I mean, what if that did happen? I don't want to be just one of those artists that, you know, lived for a year, everyone knew who they were, and then no one's heard any music or cares what they're doing ever. And they're not even doing music anymore, you know? And so like, on the other hand, I don't want to sell out for a temporary season of my life and then try to discover who I am after that. So it's like, it's really just knowledge of thyself and the gifts God's given you, and just kind of just rolling with that naturally.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have 2 more questions for you. If anybody else has sorry guys. If anybody else has a question, now's the time to put it into the comments. We're going to be wrapping up because we are running a little bit over time. Question, labels, right? We know like, oh, I'm going to get under this label and I'm going to do well. I'm going to get out there. What do you feel about labels?
Well, I mean, because of the internet and the way that you can share music, you don't need to go through a label. I would definitely get a lawyer. I would spend money. If you're good enough, and you have a big enough following that a major label wants to produce you, you need to get a lawyer. You need to get a lawyer to read the contract, because they're gonna take all your money and you're gonna be in debt. A popular deal is that they front you money and then you're in debt to them the money they give you, and then you sell a million records, but you only get 20% of those profits. And then from that 20%, you have to pay them back on that advance. And then you have to pay the engineers, you know, then you have to pay anybody who sets up your performances. You have to pay everybody from that 20%. The record company keeps the 80 in their pocket as profit. And then they bill you for all the overhead costs from your 20%.
So like, why would you even want to do that?
Well, I know. And so there's many stories of many bands or famous acts that we think, oh, they're living the dream. Like, no, they're millions, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in debt to their company. And every time they make another album, they're more in debt. And so that's why you see them doing endorsements or, you know, other weird things to try to make money.
So it's like you owe them money.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's why you need a lawyer to read the contract. Because it's not always very good for the artist. The music industry has changed so much where you don't even need a deal. You don't need a record industry
you don't need a deal to do well.
Yeah, you can record it in your bedroom
and release it yourself.
Yeah, and be a SoundCloud rapper.
And that way you do get to keep all the profits, but also I think it also comes down to control. Because like if you're like, it's kind of the same thing. Like when, for example, if you're a screenwriter, right, and you get
acting is way better than music, that's for sure.
Yes, acting, like with acting, it's like 10% the agent gets, and you basically pay your taxes, get the rest. And so yeah, with acting it's great, but with screenwriting too, for example, like when you get an agency, they're really kind of in control of like where it goes and what you're writing and all of those things like that, and they are going to be making profits off of what you're doing, and you don't have as much control. Whereas like if you're doing it like for example with your music, if you're releasing it yourself, you have so much more control, and then you are making the profit for it. So that's really good advice. I wouldn't try to go the label route. So you should just,
especially now, you just start doing it yourself and put it out there and gain your own following. Especially if you have your music radio quality and it's mixed and mastered correctly to where it's not annoying, and it like sounds good and it's loud, and it like doesn't make the user, doesn't make their ears hurt because one frequency is too loud. You need to learn how to mix and master it yourself, or hire somebody to do that.
So that's where you should be investing your money in that, or in your like promoting yourself.
And if you go into the industry just like saying, hey, sign me, you're just gonna be in debt. You're gonna be screwed. Yeah. I mean, there's no other way to put that. Someone's gonna take advantage of you and use you to make themselves rich. Where it just depends on what you do. But if you're a producer and you make beats or instrumentals, find somebody, find someone who can sing, and you produce. You don't even have to make a brand. You just make, find other people to make into a brand. And now you're your own record label.
They do say that. Like I've heard that a lot. Like that the money is in the producing, not in the
It depends.
record making. But
it just depends on how you do it. You can be a singer, songwriter,
if
and a
doing
producer.
It yourself, yeah. Okay, now that's a really good point, because whenever I'm doing like my coaching, and I do always like say, hey, act, write, direct, and it goes like the same reason, because you have more control and you are more marketable because you're doing more things. So essentially it's kind of the same thing. If you're doing it all,
it depends on. So if you're like a session musician, you can certainly make more money by being able to do every instrument. Sure. I mean, you don't have to be famous in the music industry. You can just play an instrument for other people's stuff. I remember even doing the front man of the band. The singer never changes. So I was kind of, me and the lead guitar player was the only two people in this band, but we would constantly bring in different bass players and different drummers to come play. So, I mean, we'd have different people making different money on different gigs, but it was always me and the guitar player. But the same is true with studio people. You can, if you're good at producing, you can be an engineer. If you're good at singing, you could be a background singer or a vocalist on stage that fills in, or doing harmonies or something. But you can also play lead guitar, bass, drums. But it's always needed. But if you do it yourself, you don't have to hire anybody, which is to your point.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Sorry, I was definitely listening to you. I'm just checking to see if we had any more comments here. All right, I have one more question for you. I'm going to just double check if we have any more comments here. But another question for you. What's next for you? What's next?
I don't know. Well, I really like those new Macs. They got the M1 chip. So I'm really excited to get one of those and start re-recording and stuff, and just producing more of the songs that I've already written. I'm sitting on like 20 to 30 songs that I've written. And so I'm just going to put all those out there over time. But as far as like making side jobs, still commission myself for work that people need for vocals or even full instrumentals. I would like to take the songs I produce now and see if it could be used on, YouTube channels, streamers, even other TV shows, since I do have the IMDB credit. I mean, other types of broadcasts would pick up some of those songs that I've already made, and just, that can make some extra income that way. But I'm not really looking to sell my whole life into the music industry unless it becomes a full-time thing that I need to focus all my attention on that. But I'm not really putting my eggs all in one basket for that.
That's smart.
I enjoy doing it, and I don't want to take away from how much I enjoy doing it. So, I mean, moving forward, I'm still going to serve at the church by being the sound guy and filling in with whatever instrument they need played, except piano. I don't like volunteering for piano. I just don't trust myself to learn the songs as fast.
Yeah.
Besides that, still writing and producing my songs when led to, and then just putting them out there for people to listen to. I mean, that's my biggest goal, is to get people to listen to it. And that's why I put it on the free platforms and I put it on the paid platforms. Just wherever you like listening to music, I'm trying to make it available for you.
Yeah.
And just kind of see what happens from there. I'm not really trying to force anything, but what's next? I guess just kind of business as usual, just continue with what I'm already doing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining today. I know that was like a super long interview, but so many good points, and I just absolutely love your honesty. So I think we need more of that in the acting industry,
sure,
in the music industry,
in the Christian industry,
in
the church.
Just
people should be more honest. We're not all perfect. And,
no, we're not.
I think it's silly that people act like, hey, I got it all put together, I don't sin. And it's like, well, okay. Like,
I've noticed like a lot too with even just in the acting industry, it's so fake. There's so much fake where it's like you people will like buy their like Instagram followers, and it's
that's true with it.
It's
all social media, and social media is fake.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. That's true. But and so for me, like I like to use this platform and come on here and just be like really honest and talk with people that are very upfront and very honest and real. I think people want to hear real people, because in reality, like when you're working with people, like he's gotten to work with people, and he's gotten to people like good, like I don't
not
know,
animals,
work
people.
with people.
I work with people.
With people. And I've actually gotten to work with animals in my acting career. But we but when we're in the industry, it's like I do feel like we kind of try to go through the industry, and there's a lot of things that we run into, and I think it's so important to just be real and be honest and be authentic, and people want to see that. So I think that's really important. I think if anything that we can learn from today is be authentic, do what you love, and don't do it
Don't
to where
quit your day job.
Yeah, don't quit your day job. Don't quit your day job, because that was one of my favorite points you made, and like
it just depends on your goals. I mean,
That's
if your goal is to be a musician as a career, don't be afraid. Like there's a lot of jobs in the industry where you can make money, livable income, but it doesn't mean you're famous. You don't, that's not the only way. There's a lot of ways you can make a living in the music industry, and audio engineering is one way, producing, being a session musician, or submitting instrumentals. For big thing right now is YouTubers and streamers. They're always looking for music to buy, to play on their live streams on like Twitch or YouTube or even Facebook. So stuff like that is things to just look into and do.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Stephen. You can listen to his music pretty much wherever music is available. I actually have his DistroKid link linked in the description. So if you click on that link, you can actually listen to all of his music, his new EP that just dropped, and go on there, support him. And
you can, the link below will link you to wherever you want.
Spotify, YouTube,
correct, SoundCloud, Amazon, whatever,
all that stuff. So it's all in one link. So just click that link.
It'll allow you to pick where you want to listen to it
on your preferred platform.
Exactly.
Okay. And then also, guys, if you are an aspiring actor, screenwriter, and director, I do have my online courses that are running right now. And I do have an early bird special going on. Huge discount. I am basically, okay, you're distracting me. I'm basically giving this course away, you guys. So if you want to get in on the best price, join now. I have 2 classes. One is for aspiring Christian actors. We actually were talking a lot along those lines today. So if you want to learn how to maneuver through the acting industry while cultivating success without regret, then silly, then that's a good course for you. And then also I do have another course that is for actors, screenwriters, and directors. We also talked about that, about doing it all. That course is going to teach you how to do it in a professional way. So check out my link. I have it linked in the description to my website. You can check that out, and you can book a free consultation with me. You can talk to me directly. How do I put up with you? This guy's great. So check out my website. And then I also have linked my brand new YouTube channel. It's very new. I probably have like 0 subscribers right now. But if you guys want to go and subscribe, you guys can get all my free tips for actors, screenwriters, and directors on that YouTube channel. So it's brand new. I'll be trickling more on there as time goes on. But I decided to hop on the YouTube bandwagon and kind of have an archive of all of my content. So all right, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us today. And until next time, bye for now.